Hello there, everybody. Welcome to this in-depth, as in-depth as I can actually get, preview of Dragon Age Inquisition, sponsored by EA and Ronku, and mostly thanks to my friend Will, who works there. That's the reason why I got to play, and more importantly, record. So, for transparency's sake, that is why this video exists. You're welcome, Internet. Let's move on. So, unfortunately, I didn't have a microphone when I was there recording, so this is less of live playthrough and more of a director's commentary. I was there, so I know what happens, but it's after the fact. We'll start right here with the landmark system. Basically, around the various areas of the world, there are landmarks, and you can claim them for the Inquisition. I think in this area there's 22, and that's just one of the added benefits of exploration. You'll also notice, for those of you who have played the previous Dragon Age games, we have Cassandra and Varric in the party. They got close in Dragon Age 2. And then we also have a new guy. I believe his name's Solus. He's our mage. So right away I jumped into combat. I figured I'd test out the Inquisition rogue that I have. My Inquisitor, I guess, is spec'd out as a rogue. As you can see, my melee skills are just the best.
Who do you think you are?
I say that with all sarcasm. The combat in this game, I would say, is pretty much a mix of 1 and 2. I think that's a pretty accurate description. I'm sure there's someone out there who has a much better way of describing this combat, but you have at any given time 8 active abilities you can use, and if you left trigger, you can go back and forth between those 8. It's 4 and 4. I love the effect of that poison cloud. So, because we had literally just saved before this fight, I decided let's go back, reload, and try it again in tactical mode. Now, I personally will never use tactical mode. It's just, I am not interested in it. But I know a lot of people who are. And so this is for you so you can see kind of what it's like. At the time, I think there was at least 1, maybe 2 devs there trying to walk me through this mode, show me what to do, tell me strategies, things like that. And so all this moving back and forth is me, like, half-heartedly paying attention and trying to figure out what to do at the same time. So right now we're Cassandra, and you can use her abilities, so a shield wall or that right button bash, right? Or you can just attack. And so I think that's what I decided to do. I decided, like, just screw it, I'll attack. In reality, it's probably because I didn't realize you have to press the button of the thing you want to use. I just selected the unit, so I figured, oh, well, she'll just do whatever she does. And that's really what can happen. She'll run over there, she'll do a basic attack, and then she'll unload her abilities. But what you can do is you can go back through, which I think is being explained to me right now. You can go back through and select a specific ability. So right now I'm on the Inquisitor, and I really could just go in with that flank attack, B, or right button, which is more of a parry. It's like a parry ability, which is really cool, but I don't know why I would use that to attack. So I think what I decided to do here is go in with that flank attack, yeah. And then I realized, oh, I probably should go back with everyone and do an ability. And so that's what I'm doing right here. Unfortunately, there's a bunch of cooldowns going on with Cassandra, and I don't think I have the mana to do the rest of those abilities. So I'm not sure what I decide here. I think I do that hook. At least that's what I would do now. Yeah, grappling chain. And so that will just pull his ass over to her. And then I decided to use one of my awesome arrow abilities as Varric. Explosive shot works. Good job, me in the past. Now, skipping ahead to the actual combat, you can hold down right trigger to advance time, or you can just exit out and go back to the action combat mode, I guess it's called. But if you want to be in tactical, hold down right trigger, and it will sort of play out by itself. And then every once in a while, you can jump in there, change some things if you want to. Or, as I do here in a second, you can go in and just release the trigger and take all the time in the world to re-strategize if things are going wrong. So I guess right here I just am looking around, seeing what's left. Looks like there are 3 enemies, maybe 4. So I guess at the time I was sort of deciding what to do and then gave up and said, meh, let them do their thing. Now the one thing that did annoy me a bit about this version of the game I got to play, the save that I loaded into had no healers. So poor Cassandra is getting beat down right there, and she has to use a potion, which is great, except I only had 8 potion slots, and your team just loves to slam down potions in tactical combat. And I don't know why I'm looking at Nugs there. I guess I just decided that that's what I wanted to do. So there you go. There's my 8 potions. I have no healing. That's the thing. I think that's what I'm learning right now. I have no healers. Solus isn't a healer, Cassandra isn't a healer, and Varric isn't a healer, and my Inquisitor is most definitely not a healer. So, an added level of difficulty. So we've fast-forwarded a little bit again, and we're going to go get our first quest. We're in the Graves region of the world, and right now there is sort of a faction conflict going on, and we're kind of in the middle of it. And we need to talk to Fairbanks about the recent attacks. But because I'm a giant loot whore, I needed to get that for some reason. So I've decided to play as Cassandra, mostly because I want to show you each of the different characters. And up here, you'll see a great moment of hesitation. I see that loot, and I'm like, I gotta make a video, keep going.
What are those runes? Never seen their like before.
Just a little bit of the fun chatter that is going on here. There are a few things of chatter that I cannot let you hear because they are super spoilers, and I've agreed not to spoil it for you.
It is an honor to meet the Herald of Andraste.
You're too kind.
As much as I admire you, however, I did not reach out to the Inquisition just for this. As my missive stated, we can help each other. You have encountered the Freemen. Aggressive bastards, no? They've killed a dozen of my people. We've tried to fight, but we cannot match their strength. You can. Why should you care about this, you ask? Because the Freemen are colluding with your enemy.
Which enemy do you mean?
The rogue Templars. I've seen them through the woods, heading for the Freemen bases, leaving with crates. Destroy the Freemen, and they'll lead you straight to the Red Templars. This I promise.
I'll look into this, Fairbanks.
All my information about the Freemen is right here, in our camp. Help us, and everything I know about the Dales, about these woods, I will share with the Inquisition.
Now, if memory serves me, it was about halfway through that conversation I decided, oh, I forgot to equip accessories to Cassandra! I have no idea why this whim struck me, but it did, and I felt the need to. If you go back a little bit and pause at the menu screen, you'll see I had access to pretty much nothing. The codex was locked out, the journal was locked out. It showed my power, which was 1 because I planted that flag, and basically all I had was the inventory, which you're seeing now, and the character record. Now in here you'll notice there's a ton of stuff I can use. Inferno, Winter, Rift Mage, all sorts of cool stuff. I had access to none of it. What I got is what I got, but at least they let you take a look and see what there is. So these are the abilities of Solus, and if I wanted to, and I think I do, I go check out some of the different ones. And so here's the Inquisitor abilities, like double daggers, even as his bow. Very similar to what Varric has. Speaking of Varric, there's his Caltrops. I use this ability later, not knowing what it is. Clearly I didn't read that when that was up on the screen. And there's the attributes, so you can sort of see how everyone's built. All right. So you can see there are a ton of quests in the area to pick up, but we're going to focus on this one. We found our clue, so the mine that we need to go to is literally just down the road. We could fast travel, but why bother? Let's run there.
Can't believe the Inquisition's here.
Now I'm going to let you know the struggle is real here. Normally, I would be farming all over the place, but I know you guys want to get to the questing stuff, so that's what we're going to do. That was my happy medium decision. I was like, just one. Just one. I just need one. So here's a map of the Emerald Graves. As you can see, Fog of War is pretty heavy. Haven't done much exploring. But that's the quest we're on. And you'll notice that didn't really look like a mine. That's because it wasn't. It was the main focal point of the quest, which is a little bit later. Now, though, we've come across some bad guys, and I feel like it's time we use this. I've been wanting to. Get over here! As you can see there, that taunt worked very, very well. Pulled over almost everybody. My team apparently very big fans of late battle poison clouds. Not that I'm complaining, it looks very cool. But that is pretty much being a tank in Dragon Age Inquisition. Not necessarily the most fun I've ever had, but being ranged is more my speed anyway. So we've switched to Varric, and it's about this time that I realize I still don't really know if this is the right way. Click the map, and then I see question mark, and I was like, we have to explore it! That was a mistake. Also, apparently, I decided to murder every nug. Why? Why not? I think someone in the room said, hey, you can get stuff from killing them, and I thought, oh, okay. I guess I got the codex, which I can't look at. I'm just jumping around rocks, sliding down rocks. And then I found this. It appears there are wonderful astrarium puzzles. And this one is sort of a bodice symbol, and the way it works is you have to make that symbol in one stroke. Like, you can't repeat which lines you've been across. And in my mind, I think, boy, oh boy, do I have this figured out. The answer is I don't. Oh, that, yeah. So right about now, I'm like, all right, I'll try it again. I'm going to tell you guys, you don't want to know how long I tried to do this. The best I got was within one. And apparently, there are much harder ones than this. And this is the one I just seemed to come across. So, there we go. Let's skip ahead of this. I'm going to let you know, I have about 35 minutes of footage of this. So, that's what I decided to do with my time. Now, I'm pretty sure a lot of you who follow me are saying to yourselves right about now, Jesse, you have been really critical of Dragon Age. Almost hypercritical, I would agree. Mostly because I loved the first Dragon Age and hated the second Dragon Age so much that I want this to be very, very good. And so, I'm very hypercritical of it. And so far, I'm having a great time. I can honestly say, looking back at this, that I really enjoyed it. The visuals of that statue were awesome. And you know, unlocking different areas and exploring the map, very cool. I like how it's much more open. It doesn't feel claustrophobic. I liked a lot about this. Mostly because you could really just run around and explore and do a bunch of crazy things, which I did. Those parts have been edited out here because I found all sorts of fun things that I can't show you. But I would if I could. Anyway, let's murder from a distance, shall we? There you go, that's where I dropped those things. I'm like, oh, that's what that did. That ability that keeps purpling up around my characters, that is Solus's shield ability. Works very well. I guess it's good in place of a heal, although I wish he had one. That thing I just did there was a search for loot or treasure. Anything nearby will sort of blink and let you know. So I'm going to switch to Solus here and run down this path towards the mine. But while I do that, I know a lot of you are wondering what I think of the story. I'll be honest. I don't think much of it so far. I haven't really played any of it. So I will say that's what I'm worried about the most. I'm hoping that's good because it's really the most important part of an RPG. And here's an AoE. I love this thing. Solus has this ability. It'll form a little orb in the middle and just suck their asses back to it. Freaking awesome. And then they get paralyzed and murdered. This, my friends, is why I usually play a mage in RPGs like this. Let the tanks do the tanking. Let the rogues do the spanking. And I'll just sit back here and frostball. There's the shield I was talking about earlier. Gonna put that on everyone now. So in traditional RPG fashion, because I have no clue what's coming, we're gonna heal up, make sure everyone's good, and turn this corner. Luckily, I noticed that there's a dude right there, and I assume there are other guys. So again, we're gonna open with this ability because it's just the best. And anyone who comes through there has to run through that area. They're screwed. Who needs tactical mode? That was a sound strategy. And then I just sit back here and blast dudes. Although there appears to be a guy over there. That's fine, we'll lure his ass out too. They're all poison gas. That guy tried to come for me. Fell flat on his face.
Some will take advantage of chaos to further their own cause.
Also, that mace. That giant purple mace. You saw that, didn't you? 'Cause... Yup. And for doing that, my power in the area increased.
I don't want to die here. The guards had a key. It's over there.
So as usual, I ignore all requests for help and go to find treasure. Nothing new here.
Yes! That's the way! Yes, that way! Yes, that way! Please, please open the door. I can't stand it in here another second.
So that's the very first part of a quest chain here in the Emerald Graves. It's pretty long, and there's some stuff I just can't show you. However, I will show you a dungeon later. But before we get to that, just some random cool stuff I found. Imagine the joy of discovering a secret like this, only to have it be followed by the biggest troll in any game ever. Good work, team. I'm still not really sure what this was. It's obviously a quest, but I guess I just forgot to look into it. But I think it's very cool that there's just random things lying around, and had I not run down a river for no reason, I never would have found this. This is about the time I say, ah, what the hell, I've been doing okay. Let's take on a rift with no healing potions. I don't know about you, but I enjoyed the hell out of that. So, I noticed there's a flag to plant over there. I do one more search for loot and then jump over to go do that, because that is some points to help me take over this place. So that's power +2 from beating that thing, plus another one. And then I notice what this says here. It says there's no elven treasure under that waterfall, and immediately I'm like, oh, you know there is. No game would say that. And this is when this happens. Basically, there's a hidden something here that I need to find. And I have to hold down the left stick there, and it will shake and rattle and point me where to go. The problem is, the arrow that shows up in that little circle is underwater, so I can't really see it. But it's ahead of me, I know that. And every time I use it, my controller starts shaking and rumbling, and it gets bigger and bigger the closer I get to the waterfall. So I'm like, oh, there's something here. There's something here. And then I noticed that underneath the waterfall, so I'm like, oh, that must be it. No, my friends, it was not. Prepare to watch a man search for something and lose his mind. So I'm doing like hot and cold, moving around. I'm like, okay, so is it over here? Nope, nope, no buzzing. You can even hear the auditory beep as I get close to it. There it is. So it's obviously over here. I do it one more time and boom! Something right there. There you go. Bottles on the wall. There's 29. Yep, that is going to be fun finding. So before I leave you with the dungeon, we're going to set up a camp here. You can do this at different points throughout the area here. And it looks like there are 4 in the graves. We're going to avoid that rift because look at my party.
This would be a good place to set up camp.
That is a wonderful idea. And so we shall, Cassandra. So now that we've done that, we can fast travel here, we can make potions here, we can rest. All the things it says right there you can do. And our power has again increased. What that power means, something that I really enjoy, is that randomly you'll find your own Inquisition soldiers with items or different things to help you spread throughout the zone that weren't there originally, which I think is really cool. So basically, you take over an entire area. So this is the villa that the dungeon's in, and I'm just going to wrap it up here, let the game do the talking from this point on, and get out of your hair. Let me just say, though, one of the major concerns I had coming into this was that the gameplay would be just janky and awful. And honestly, it's very fluid, it's very fun. I was not really expecting this, so color me surprised. I was thrilled. I'm thrilled by this. With that said, though, there are still 2 things that I'm really concerned about. The first being the menu system I thought was a little clunky. There is definite room for improvement, maybe streamlining things. There's a lot of menus to go through and a lot of things to look at, and maybe that's just because it's such a expansive, massive game they need all that, but it felt like a little overwhelming. There's a lot of things to click on and move around, so yeah. The second thing is the story. I have no idea where this story is going. That is a big concern for me. I'm a huge story guy, and one of the impressions I took away from this was the connection between what we're doing in this area and the main overarching story was very, very slim. At least that's the way it felt. I didn't feel like this was some big grand adventure. It felt like we were doing a lot of busy work for a lot of people in this area, and that was worrisome. But with that said, it could be because I didn't get far enough into the graves to experience that part. So it's really just an unknown, and I guess that's what worries me because, like I said, I'm a big story guy, and I want to know that what I'm getting into is an engrossing, all-encompassing, really powerful story. And I guess the hint is because of little pieces of flair like what you saw on the screen, and things like in the villa here, there's a book about the sexuality of all the different, I guess, classes of people in the world. It's very interesting. You can read that when we get to it. I thought it was cool. Little pieces like that. Even this, which is after you do certain things in this area, notes are passed back and forth between the different Freeman soldiers. I think there's a lot here. I'm hoping that in the end it all pays off. So it's pretty safe to say my expectations are very high. I think whenever there's a company out there that I love, there are many of them, and they make a new game, I demand greatness. I expect it to be fabulous, and when it's not, it's kind of heartbreaking and angering, and I think as a fan, as a serious fan, I want this one to be the best it can be. So, with that said, I'll leave you with this poor man's murder and this dungeon, and thank you so much for watching this, for listening to my thoughts, and when this game comes out in November, hopefully, to be continued.
Freeman's leader should be holed up here. This place has seen better days.
These men are thugs. What do you expect?
I haven't heard anything from the plane, have you? No, nothing anyway.
Might be something here. Better take a closer look. Part of a key. There's a rune inscribed on it. Or part of one.
When did they arrive?
A few hours ago. He's talking with them now.
them.
I'm guessing that was the man in charge.
We've struck a blow against the free men.
From what we've heard, I'm not sorry to see him go.
Red lyrium.
They must have been smuggling it for the Templars.
Not anymore.
Perhaps if I made an attempt.
that's it for Dragon Age Inquisition. Hopefully you enjoyed that dungeon run. I had a lot of fun playing the game. Like I said, there's a lot of cool things you can pull off. Like that shooting from the window deal. That was awesome. I had a lot of fun. I didn't want to leave when my time was up. I think that says a lot about the game. So, hopefully you're as excited as I am. I'll leave you with the usual. Subscribe and like and all that junk. All the socials. At Jesse Cox on the Tweetster and all that. And as always, to be continued.